It's a show like nothing else you've ever seen. Three's Company. They come to you from Mandy's every Wednesday night, and there's nothing you can see
love this
that's
song.
just funny. It's free, like the girls in Kiowa Three's Company.
Welcome. You're looking live at Three's Comedy Radio Show. I'm Mandy Jones. I'm sitting next to
Bonnie Scalisi, how are you?
We are Three's Company Radio Show. We are two stand-up comedians who we typically have another gentleman alongside of us, but during quarantine, it's just Bonnie and I, and so we've invited you guys to be the third guest.
You are the three and Three's Company.
Exactly. You know, Bonnie and I have heard each other's life stories, or most of them, or we're getting to.
Yes.
And we want to hear your guys' story. Bonnie, you want to tell them what tonight's topic is?
Tonight's topic is empowering women. Now that's a big word, but it means this goes for men too. We're not shutting off half of our audience. This means women who have done something special in your life.
I just posted it. You
Oh,
just got to
sure.
find it.
And
Just reopen it.
one second.
So we're talking about women who have influenced your life.
Yes.
So not just women that we want to hear about. We want to hear about.
Thank you.
We want to hear about men too. Strong mamas that smacked you into shape, or grandmas that
Yes.
worked their asses off as single mothers. Just what different good bosses you had. So start recollecting on those stories now, because we're gonna get into that in a bit. But Bonnie and I did want to start with a couple of things. Bonnie, you want to tell them what we did this weekend?
Yes, this weekend, Mandy had the great idea to, I don't know if those of you know that both Mandy and I have autism in our families. Mandy has an autistic brother who I met. His name is James. He's adorable. I have an autistic brother named Danny. Also, I have autistic children. So it was Mandy's idea to go for a walk at the name of the place.
We went to the Arboretum. It's in Great River, which is like the ice slip area, Suffolk County, Long Island, for people who are, wherever you are in the world. And we just had a great time because Bonnie has been taking her boys on strolls, walks every day because can't go to they don't go to schools are closed and everything is on lock now.
I'm starting to lose it.
Everybody's starting to lose it. So we had a really great time, and it was funny because at one point the boys were like ditching, us because we're like slow pokes. So I kind of ran to hang with the boys a little, closer, and then my mom and Bonnie were strolling, walking behind each other, and they start arguing that they're like, my mom's like, yeah, you're 10 years younger than me, and Bonnie's like, no way, you're 10 years younger than me.
And we were the same age.
Born the same exact
Which
year.
made me feel really old.
No, it made you guys were both complimenting how young the other one looked.
That's true.
So
your mom looks like 15 years younger than she actually is.
Well, and that's what she thought about you. So you guys, I thought that was really sweet that came out of it. We had a really good time.
But before we say anything else, I just want to say hello to a couple of people that have already tuned in.
Hello.
Andrew Plajanos, we love him.
Oh,
Felix, we love. He has a
Andy.
show, Let's Eat Long Island. That's right here on Guz Radio also. Robin DeVito says hey. Joey Cole is watching. Michael Zimmerman. And Felix is saying the best babes. We love you, Felix. Gina Conjemi Coffin, how are you?
Gina.
Love Gina. So Robin's saying she loves your hair, Mandy. I love her hair.
Thank you.
She was saying, should I put it up?
I
said,
know,
leave it
I was
just
feeling
like that.
self-conscious.
Joan Krupi Asher is watching. Frank P. Zambudo is watching. Charlie Meyer is watching. Jennifer Lentini. I'm going to be seeing Jennifer. Oh, she said she loves the shirts.
Oh.
So we're going to be talking about the shirts in a minute. Yes, Robin, my hair wasn't cut, but I supposedly highlighted it.
But when
and it's one of our sponsors from last week, which is Ambience in Hewlett at 1344 Broadway.
Yeah.
So so my hair, I didn't really get a chance to style it, so it's a little bit of a mess, but they did a nice job with the color.
But real quick before I forget, Bonnie,
Yeah.
everybody needs to be a group member of Three's Company Radio Show -2. That's when Bonnie and I plug something, and then in 2 weeks you're like, oh, I want to go get my hair done. Where was that? You go to Three's Company Radio Show 2. We post the episodes there. Bonnie and I post the episodes periodically on our own pages, and we put our Trump stuff, and Bonnie put, we put up all our own personal stuff, but that page is dedicated solely to the show. So you should definitely be on that. We put up the flyer for what we're going to be talking about that week, and I promise to not do more than like 4 or 5 posts on that group a week, because I don't want people to unfollow or mute the group. So please join that group, and Ambience is on there.
Yes, and your mother, Mary Underhill, is watching.
Hey, Mama.
We were just talking about.
Yeah, Ma, we just plugged, our great little weekend we had.
Pat Cleedon is saying hello.
Hey, Pat.
Hi, Johnny McDonald. How are you? Mark Peterson is saying hello from Spokane, Wisconsin. Whoa. How are you, Johnny McDonald? Miss you. I was going to go to a mic tonight, but I had a procedure, a biopsy for ovarian cancer yesterday, and I didn't know how I would be feeling today.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to do the radio show and then go to a mic, but I missed all the people that, we used to see, and Stephen Perillo was having something.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I'm going to miss it. But we are going to be talking, just so plug what we're going to be talking about in a minute.
Yeah. Just real quick, we're doing Empowering Women Tales.
Yes.
So start recollecting and...
any woman that affected your life in a positive way.
Right. Whether it be friends, sisters, older, younger, or however it may be.
So do you want to talk about these shirts?
Yeah, so Bonnie and I are wearing shirts from the Boss Babes Co. Empowered Women Empower Women. They have a bunch of cool different merchandise that has all different, it's all pro women, like the Girls Get Shit Done Club, and like they have just all really cool stuff. I was drawn to them because I just thought it was a really, somebody already complimented the t-shirts. I was like, I like that. Bonnie and I are people that believe there's enough room for everyone to be at the finish line.
Absolutely.
We're
not jealous of other people's success. We're happy for other people's success.
And we base our success on who we were yesterday. We don't look at the other gardens.
Like we were just talking about, I love Jim Raya, but Jim Raya and I have this ongoing thing about the friggin' ratings. He used to be the co-host of the show.
Right.
And I said, it's not about the ratings. It's about the fun we're having, the different people we get to meet. So I always joke, if you watch Vanderpump Rules, I go, it's not about the pasta. And Jim's like, it is about the pasta. It is about the pasta. But we're hooking up with these people who have a lot of, a huge following.
Right. And the reason we were drawn to them, these girls in particular, first of all, I was drawn to the t-shirt because I was like, Empowered Women Empower Women. I love it. And what she does, the woman does, Sarah, who owns the company, the proceeds go to the Global Women Fund. So it's a organization, you can look into it. She's got certificates that certify that she sent money to them, as much as she can off of her small little business. And it's a fund that goes towards giving women all over the world resources they need to become entrepreneurs, to maybe expand on some of their dreams. Bonnie and I were lucky enough to live in a place where we grew up, and I'm just talking about U.S. in our homes. We grew up with a great foundation to be powerful women, and we want to inspire others. My first woman that, if I'm going to break the ice, break the topic real quick, we'll go to Joe's ad in a second, but Bonnie is the person, my first inspirational, empowered woman that I want to bow down to.
You're on my list too, but I'll let you go. I'll let you talk first.
But Bonnie really is. I went to.
Thank you, Mandy.
We brought us to Stephen Rocco Prillo tonight, who's doing a mic tonight that Bonnie will not be making it to, but I went to his mic, I sat down next to you, and I think we just shook hands.
Yeah, that was
and
introduced
ourselves to one another.
You were the second woman I ever met, second woman comic I ever met.
Oh, very nice.
Mary Capone was the first.
Yep.
And you were the second.
Yep. So you go to these little comedy things and you just start introducing yourself to everybody that's in the bar. You say, hey, are you here to do jokes? Hey, are you, here to do jokes? And so Bonnie and I met, and I think that first night you started saying, that your brother had you had an autistic brother. I said, me too. And then we just continued to see each other around the scene. We ended up getting put on stage together.
Right, we kept running into each other.
Exactly.
Yes.
The universe put us on a similar path. And I'm just so, I admire Bonnie because first of all, I know it's true. I do not want children because of I'm a selfish person. It takes a lot to run a child's life, typical or not.
Yeah, typical kids are hard.
It's a different road. When they're typical, it's a different. Like you have different battles with Alexis than you do with the boys.
Sometimes Alexis is worse.
Right, because she's got everyone's got their different things, but I bow down to Bonnie because at 3 a.m. me, her, and Jim would be talking about our dreams for this podcast that we're here now a year later. Quarantine, nothing can stop Bonnie and I. Jim can't do the show anymore. We got Tony in. Nothing is stopping Bonnie.
Nothing's gonna stop us.
Nothing's gonna damper our parade. And I just, seeing Bonnie as a mother and how dedicated she is to being a better and better comedian.
I love Mandy.
And she has time to show up to everybody. She's friends with every comedian, and she has time to show up to all of their events. She sits
when they used to have events.
She pays real money to go sit and watch her friends perform, even though she's seen all their acts at the open mics.
Yeah, I love to watch them.
And she inspires me to have more energy and stay awake. And
well, thank you, Mandy. I'm going to do Mandy in a minute. We do have some viewer stories that I'm definitely going to share. Ken Purcell is saying hi to everybody. Joan Cooper Asher is saying nice hair, ladies. Somebody was saying that we look like twins because of our haircuts are the same.
And we got our Bobsy twin shirts on.
We have the same shirts on.
We will do a photo shoot later,
Pat Cleedon, I love you. He's saying you both have beautiful hair. Are you two sisters? I love you. I'm a lot older than Mandy.
We are soul sisters.
I take that as a huge compliment. So for our first, what does he call it? A promo?
Yes. Bonnie, go ahead.
So here's something great for comics.
Plug.
If you're listening and you're a comic, Joe DeVito, one of the headliners here at Governors and all over the country, he teaches stand-up too. He's been on TV dozens of times, and he's known for being a great joke writer. Joe's doing group classes and one-on-one coaching now on FaceTime and Zoom with comedians all over the country. I've done many sessions with him, and it's a great way to get ideas for new material or get stuff ready for shows and auditions. And he even gave us some advice about our podcast. Message Joe DeVito through his website, www.joedevito.com, and tell him Bonnie sent you. Okay? And Mandy's going to put it up on the link.
Yes.
So that you can. I have so much praise for Joe. I could go on and on about him.
Oh, of course. He was so sweet because Bonnie is such a loyal supporter. He came out and did our show. Yes. He was one of our first guests. It was over a year ago.
Yes, a year ago.
Hey, husband downstairs, Glenn watching. When is Tony coming back? Maybe when the studio comes back, we'll have Tony.
Yeah.
Now we only have 2 chairs, and Pee-wee is taking up our third seat. We love Tony, we really do.
Tony had some.
Yes.
I wanted to talk about Tony. I had this funny meme up about Leonardo DiCaprio. You know how he's standing on the boat and he yells out, "I'm the king of the world." So I said, the meme said, say what he would say, wrong answers only. So I said I would pick winners.
Right.
So I picked 2 winners. One was Terry McNeely. He said that Leonardo DiCaprio was screaming, "Pelosi's a twat." So those of you who know Terry McNeely know that I would think that's very funny. And the other one was Tony Landolfi. And Tony Landolfi said that Leonardo DiCaprio was screaming, "I sharted."
I liked mine.
Oh, there were so many good ones.
Oh, Emily's Santosis. I forgot what she
Oh, yeah.
wrote, but hers was great.
Emily was great.
I wanted to laugh specifically at hers, and then I was like, everyone's gonna think I'm a dick because she's getting a laugh, and not everyone gets a laugh.
No,
But whatever fucking Emily wrote, I gotta go back because it was fucking hilarious.
Emily's was great, and then people that I have no idea who they are, they came in up with some really, really, really funny ones.
I like the interactive posts like that. I like that
I
kind
didn't
of
think it
stuff.
would get so much response. I'm like, I was really surprised.
And why I like jumping on those kind of posts is because once you submit one, then you keep getting notifications. Oh, someone else posted, so you get to see what else people throw in.
Yes.
Like, it's like an all day. Like, it's a good, clean fun.
So we're going to start with Felix's story. He wants to say thank you to Eileen Hegel.
Oh, Eileen, that's my godmother's name.
Who was his manager at a steakhouse he started his cooking career at. She always had confidence in me and made me a bartender. She always tried harder than the male managers, and she was the best.
Aww.
And Jennifer, I'm going to see Jennifer on Friday, Jennifer. That's why I love the shirts, because so many times we judge women so quickly rather than lift each other up. We all have special gifts and are all powerful women in different ways.
Yes.
Jennifer, you are one of the people on my list.
Jen.
I was going to get to you, but since you're on air.
Yeah, here we go. Let's just
I'll
cut
get to
the
Mandy
chase.
after.
Yeah, no, cut to the chase.
Okay, so Jennifer, you are one of the people that I admire. I came to Coasters, and everybody that has gone to that particular place and met you says that they'll never forget you because you always have a warm smile. You always listen to people. You don't judge people. And, you have all your health issues, the heart transplant, and you're so positive. You're such a positive person that you are one of my big idols that I look up to. And that is Jennifer Lantini.
Yes,
love you.
Yes,
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
she gets events together and donates to organ donor organizations, and she meets up with the family that her heart lives on through, and it's fucking amazing. Like, that is amazing.
She's just such a positive, powerful, positive force.
Honestly, Jen, like, you are keeping that family alive through living. Like, straight up, you're gonna
and she doesn't take her life for granted. Like, every time I look at her Facebook, she's going to Disneyland. Obviously it's different now because of the virus, but
how'd she get into Disneyland?
She loves Disneyland, and I don't blame her.
I know.
If I could go, I would go.
Halloween costume every night
everything.
of the week, like every night of the month.
She's she's such a fun person, and she's one of the people that it was on my list. So Ed is watching, and he complimented us before and said two nice broads, too sexy, whatever he said.
Whatever the
so
fuck
he
said.
He wants to say thanks to Mrs. Miley, his first grade teacher, who taught me grammar, spelling, and proper punctuation. One reason I'm the spelling police on Facebook, LOL. It's interesting that you remember your first grade teacher, because a lot of people don't remember anything below fourth grade, except when they look at the photos. So that's interesting that you remember. So yes, your husband's watching downstairs. Hi, Frank. Frank is saying hello. Eileen McGregor, how are you? She's from where I used to teach in PS 173. Bill Hansen, how are you? He's saying hi to both of us. So it's my turn, and Mandy is one of the very, very special people on my list, because many of the reasons she talked about me are the same goes the way I feel about her, is that we just clicked right away. But I have to thank Jim Rhea. We did meet, but Jim Rhea is the one who suggested you for the radio show.
He saw something. You got the idea. You got the idea for the radio show, and you guys saw something in me, which I bow down to, because I thought everybody and their mother had a podcast, and everybody and their mother does have a podcast. And
now they do.
and I didn't see myself as it, but it, as time changed, and right now here we are, still having something to look forward to every week.
Oh my God, I really, really look forward to it. Taz, the residential artist, just came on.
Taz.
So we were talking about empowering women, for those who are just tuning in.
Oh yeah, and Bonnie was praising me.
I was in the middle of praising Mandy, because Mandy is an innovator, and she has, just like Jennifer, she has a positive wonderful spirit of energy around her. She's amazing with technology. She doesn't give up. You know, she comes up with these great ideas, and I'm not going to let anyone shut Mandy down. When Mandy has an idea, my ears and eyes are open, and I know she knows a lot about. It's just like a lot of people feel that like only the older people know. I don't believe that. I think older people know lots of things, and you should listen to them, of course. And younger people have lots of things that are valuable, and you should listen to them. No, one shouldn't cancel out the other. So her strengths are my weaknesses. And one of the things, I wouldn't even be on this podcast right now if it wasn't for Mandy.
Aww,
I'm going to be on, yeah, so I love Mandy. I'm going to be on Quarantine Live tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And because I don't know how to do any of this, I just do Facebook Live.
Yep.
And Tony Walker's nice enough to share it to the Governor's page. Because I don't know how to do this. You should see the setup that her and her husband did. It's amazing. They have a computer. They have like a TV. They set up this whole studio. So Mandy, kudos to you.
Thank you,
You are amazing. So Dwayne Glick Robbins is saying, "Hi Bonnie, it was a pleasure meeting you today at Ambiance Salon.
Oh, there we go.
Your color looks fabulous, Heather." Yes, I was telling her it's an interactive podcast. I actually did plug you at the beginning. I said I got my hair colored at Ambiance, which is located in Hewlett at 1344 Broadway in Hewlett, and they were going to blow dry my hair, but I was in a hurry, so I didn't do a great job of blow drying it, but they did a very nice job on the color, and it felt great to be back in a hair salon. My nails will be next.
Yeah. But
it was great to be back, and they were so polite and wonderful. I highly, highly recommend them. It was a pleasure meeting you too, Dwayne. Diane Glick Robbins. If I said your name wrong, please correct me. So they're all saying hi to each other, and Jennifer's saying, "I agree, there was a wonderful 19-year-old girl." And I think Jennifer was in the middle of typing that.
Yeah, sometimes I hit enter and it's like,
yeah,
there
Jennifer,
it goes, it's off into the
Finish that story and then we'll get back to you. Oh, here it is. A 19-year-old girl in her yoga teaching training group, and she learned so much from her. That's right.
Yep.
So you can learn from older people. You shouldn't shut somebody down because they're older. In fact, Quarantine Live tomorrow, I was going to have my boyfriend on, but he's in Pennsylvania because I messed up the dates. And I thought my Quarantine Life was next week. So I'm going to go do what I usually do, which I usually visit my dad. And I'm just going to film whatever happens there.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Should be
Bonnie's dad is 81?
91.
91. So, like, you got stories if you're 91.
He's got lots of stories.
And if he's anything like you, he's a firecracker because you're out of your mind.
I'm exactly like him. I take after my dad.
I think they're going to be like, Bonnie and Mandy, can you do a half hour and then we'll do an hour on Mr. Scalise? Well, he's not Mr. Scalise.
His name is Saratan. Howard Saratan.
Oh, Saratan. I did know that, actually. Now that you say that, I do.
People say nature's spelled backwards, but it's not really spelled that way. So, do you want to go with your next?
Sure. All right. Well, I'm gonna start with someone that had a huge impact on my life that is no longer here with us, unfortunately. Her name's Josephine, and my first 40-hour-a-week job out of college, I was 21 years old, and I graduated in May, and then that September I got a job. And she was not the boss. She was not the owner. She was the bookkeeper for the owner. But they had been friends for like 25 years. Mm-hmm. So, and she was a very, very tough lady, and she kept him in line. Like, they would fight. Like, they were best friends and would fight and have their differences. But in the grand scheme of things, she was so moral. And if she was doing something, it was for the good of. But it was very funny because she would toughen me up. Like, my boss was an asshole. He was a really tough man to work for. And, to the point where, like, he's yelling at you and it's out of your control. He's just frustrated and you're getting yelled at. And I was like, no, I could do. She was like, you got to be tough when you work here. I'm like, no, my dad's a yeller. Like, I could do, and there would get times you get stressed at work. It's the first time I'm working a real hard job, and I would start crying and she'd be like, don't waste your time. You better not waste your tears on him. Like, you better not waste your tears on him. Like, it's not worth this shit. Like, you know, and she toughened me up. And then, like, a year later, we got another girl in the office. And I had already been conditioned to, me and Josie were best friends at this point already. And I would, you know, start crying, and Josie would be like, "What are you crying for?" And the other girl in the office is like, "Oh my God," like, and I'm like, thank you, you're right, I know, you're right. She's like, "Go take a walk, get some fresh air, get a hold of yourself."
She gave you some tough love.
Exactly, like, go, you know, because she worked, and she's like, it was a man's world when I worked, and it's funny because who I work with now, she goes, "You came into here tough." I was like, "Yeah, because they toughened me up at my last job, you know," and that's God, you know, rest in power, Josie Latsko. She, woman that had a huge impact on my life.
Yeah. Well, you guys who are watching, Taz, a couple of people have some stories that we're going to share. So Joan Krupiasha said she empowered herself by being the first of her 8 female first cousins to get a divorce. Good for you!
Yeah, you know, that is breaking the bounds, and you know what?
Yeah.
That's important. Divorce is important.
I have some stories, but
that's a different episode. We'll do we'll do a divorce episode.
Only one remains married today. I was a real trendsetter in my family, LOL. Then I went to school and became a nurse at the age of 41. You go, Joan.
Yeah, there you go. I like to hear that.
I'm very impressed, and I think that's amazing.
Why is Peter Najak asking about Pee-wee now? Do you not watch our show? Are you not aware
Peter
of
must be a first-time watcher.
Yeah, Pee-wee's our mascot.
Peter met the Bagel Boss guy. Peter, tell me if I'm not correct. If that's who you are, that's what I'm thinking. All right, so David Lange said, 30 years in the United States Air Force, and my best boss, his best boss was General Susan Harginus.
Oh, there we go.
She hired me based off of my record without knowing me personally, and then gave me some amazing opportunities to lead. Commanding a cadet group at the Air Force Academy, 1,100 cadets, and commanding basic training. Jen DeSargens was a groundbreaking member of the first class that allowed women at the Air Force Academy, class of 80, and was a remarkably talented professional while also being incredibly humble. I don't know what I would have made colonel without the trust she placed and the opportunities she provided for leadership. That is amazing.
God bless.
That is an amazing story.
That's great.
Yeah, and Taz, the residential artist, who we love, she said, Mrs. Hart from kindergarten, 4th grade, was the sweetest person I've ever met, and I wanted to be just like her.
Aww.
Oh, Taz, that's so nice. Okay, so Peter, Pee-wee is part of the show, so deal with it.
Get over it.
So one of my first person on my list after Mandy was my mom, who also is no longer with us.
Yep.
My mom raised my brother back in the time when autism was, my brother's autistic, the stats were 1 in 10,000 cases, and nobody knew what autism was. And then I remember when Rain Man came out, I was like, oh, Rain Man, there's something about autism out there. And Rain Man is about the very high functioning autism, which everybody started to think that's what autism was. But believe me, autism comes, there's a bell curve. And he was at the top of the bell curve.
Right.
It doesn't even touch the surface. My brother was like hitting his head on walls, and my mother did not give up on him. She did behavior analysis, where like the treat and the carrot and the stick kind of thing. Behavior modification.
Okay.
Behavior modification. They hadn't made ABA training yet. They didn't have schools yet. And they blamed the mother for autism back then. So not only did she have the stress of dealing with a child that was not like, normal, but she, according to the journals of medicine, she was to blame because she was a refrigerator mother. And I remember she said to my father, she goes, she put this coin in like a box, and my brother got the coin out. And she goes, you see, he can think. and then she didn't give up on him. And,
Yeah.
and today, sometimes you can do everything for the kids that have autism, and they make a tiny bit of progress. But my brother, who hardly had any services because my mother just kept on him and kept on him,
Yeah.
he lives in Deer Park, and he works in a grocery store, and he's very high functioning, and he earns a check from, he gets paid for his job.
Yep.
So my mom is one of the empowering women.
Yeah, man.
All right, so Peter Najak is saying, yes, I am not God or his father or his boss. That's what he said. He was on that famous Bagel Plus thing that went viral, but only from the neck down. If Peter, if you hadn't been so tall, you would have been famous by now.
So, but Peter, were you the person he was yelling
Yes,
at?
yes.
Oh my God.
Peter was the person he was yelling at.
That's hilarious.
That's what I'm saying. That, but Peter, if you haven't met Peter, he's super tall. But if he had been a little shorter, his head would have been in the video, and he would have been famous now.
Your chin would have been viral, dude. You
So-
just missed it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But he has it in his act, and I think that's so funny. So now it's your turn.
Okay.
And viewers, keep putting. Okay, we have a couple of more, but keep putting these stories in. We want to hear about women who have empowered you. And if I miss your story, please just type in. You didn't read mine or something like that.
Yeah,
okay?
so we
'Cause
know
sometimes-
to look up and stuff.
Yeah,
They do
sometimes-
get lost.
Yeah, sometimes the comments skip, and I miss some.
Yeah, we're not dissing anybody
Yeah,
intentionally.
100% never not read somebody's thing on purpose.
Right, exactly.
It's not-
Yeah.
I try to get to everyone equally.
Yeah, exactly. It's not there's no pecking order or anything with the fucking comments. It's whatever comes up. Sometimes we don't even pre-read it. We're just here off to the races. Here we go.
I've read things. I'm like,
Oh yeah, should have said that. Stop. The next person I want to talk about is my grandma, my Nana, who's no longer with us, my dad's mom. And the person that actually wrote to me about her today was my mother. My parents are divorced. So this is my mom's ex-mother-in-law.
Oh, and the fact that she has a positive word to say about it.
Yes,
Wow.
that says something. So my grandmother had 10 children, and I'll just give you word for word what
10
my mother.
children, holy moly.
Yes, 10 children. And so my mother says Teresa Jones, and it's funny because my mom's middle name is Teresa, and it was my grandmother's name is Teresa. Had a huge impact on my life. She loved taking care of people. She not only did all the cooking for her large family, mother of 9, she did it with such grace. I still see her smiling, wearing her cute apron. Talk about Superwoman. Amazing cook, always there to lend an ear. She had a wonderful sense of humor and lived every day to the fullest.
Oh.
And then she went on to say that, I always called it Hotel Nana because that was just like, my dad always joked, my dad would get home at like 3 a.m. and my grandma would pick his clothes up like a teenager and she'd wash them at 7 a.m. They'd be like perfectly stacked on the table. She just did everything. And when my mom started dating my dad and like would be sleeping over there, my nana put a robe like up for my mom. Like it was literally like a hotel.
Oh my God,
So-
she sounds like a wonderful woman.
Yeah, and my mom actually gave me a really nice compliment today. She said, "You remind me of Nana." She said, "Bless
Aw.
the children," because my Nana never seemed fazed by anything. She just had such a sense of humor, like about everything. Just like she's just like, yeah, It was like nothing fazed her. It was very
Like her essence was pure.
Yes.
Yes.
And she died in her favorite rocking chair.
Oh.
Right after she ate an Almond Joy, her favorite candy.
I want to
So-
go out like
I
that.
know, she honestly
That's how
went
I
out
wanna
the
go
most
out.
peaceful way to go. She goes, "This is my favorite candy," and then just went. It was like honestly like a beautiful way to die.
It is. All right, so our friend Jennifer is saying, I'm going sentimental here, but my donor mom, when I met her, she told me that her mother told her not to donate her son's organs, but she chose to do it anyway. Without her, I wouldn't be here, and she changed my life by giving me life.
Yeah,
That's an amazing story.
Yeah, that's deep. You're gonna make me cry, but that's good tears.
And I actually watched Jennifer on Kristen Tinsley's show in Bed with Comics, and I was able to hear Jennifer tell her whole story about being a heart donor recipient, and it was very, very touching. So Peter's saying, damn my height. Yes, I told him to calm down. He goes, my moobs are famous. And Ernest Marcello is saying hello. Hi, Ernest. How are you? Peter, you're saying your Aunt Martha.
She stood up to BS artists and always kept me honest. So anybody
that's
who
who he admires.
Okay, yeah, she was great. I miss her. So BS bullshit artist. That's one of the greatest compliments I ever got was my little brother-in-law. He said, "Mandy, you always keep it real."
Yes.
And I took that as a huge compliment.
I think that's one of the reasons we get along, because I hate people that are not real. That are phonies.
Exactly.
That pretend they're your friends and then they stab you in the back. They can go F themselves.
Josie, who I first talked about, I used to joke with her. I said, Josie, people couldn't turn around fast enough for you to talk behind their back. She's talking to you right to your face exactly how she feels about you. She's not waiting for you to turn around.
Is that the one that was tough on you?
Yeah, exactly.
Getting back, I think that's amazing that somebody could even have 10 children. But I just think it's so funny because I post stuff that I want to post, and I don't mean to be offensive to anybody. It's just that's how I feel.
I just am offensive. I can't help it.
I'm not even talking about politics. Put politics aside, because that's a whole nother can of worms. But I had this meme of, how on a car you have like the father on the back of the window of the car. You have the father, the mother, and the family and the dog. So there was a picture of like the father, the mother, and like at least 10 kids. And the meme said, "Oh my God, get off her." And everybody liked it. And this one woman goes, "I don't see that there's anything wrong with having a big family. Like you can't even put something like that on without insulting somebody." And I was like, "Look, it's just a joke. Like, she's like, if they can have as many children as they want, as long as they can take care of them." I'm like, I never said they couldn't. It's just like, everybody wants to argue about freaking everything.
I know.
It's enough already.
Oh, my Lord.
Okay, so Peter was saying about, all right, you said that. So Ernest is saying, beats his mother. His mother had 9 women or girls. So Ernest, you were the only boy? You were the 10th kid, not all other
that's
kids.
rough.
That they must have like really been on you. So Jennifer goes, "Damn my 5'2" height." Also, LOL Peter, I get it. Laughed my ass off. Jennifer, I'm shorter than you. Only my hair makes me look higher, and my shoes. I'm 5'1", so that's why when I was dating, there was such a controversy because there's so many women who don't want to date men that are shorter than them, but almost every man is taller than me. So I never had that issue. I had other issues, but height was not one of them. So Ernest Macarulia is saying, "I'm good. How are you both ladies doing? Love your show." Thank you, Ernest.
Thank you.
Everybody, could you share the show?
Yeah, share the show. Go on.
We're trying to get a following, and I don't know what I'm saying.
No, share the show and also be part of the Three's Company Radio Show 2 group. That's whenever Bonnie and I talk about ambiance, where Bonnie got her hair done, or Street Fighter.
And now we're going to be putting up, and this will be my second plug for Joe DeVito. Yes. Here's something great for comics. Peter, you're a comic. Joe DeVito, one of the headliners here at Governor's and all over the country, teaches stand-up too. He's been on TV dozens of times, and he's known for being a great joke writer. Joe's doing group classes and one-on-one coaching on FaceTime and Zoom with comedians all over the country. So even if you're not from around here, you can still work with him. I have done sessions with him, and it's a great way to get ideas for new material or get stuff ready for shows and auditions. He's helped me with advice from about this very podcast. Message Joe DeVito through his website, www.joedevito.com, and tell him Bonnie sent you. And Mandy will put it on the Three's Company page.
Yes, I'll put it on the page so you guys have his email. You can grab that again. Tell them Bonnie sent you. Bonnie, you want to talk about another woman who inspired you?
All right, this might be a little controversial.
That's all right.
But somebody I so admire is her name is Candace Owens, and she is I don't know what her title would be, but she's a strong political force. She's an
activist.
She's an activist. What I admire about Candace Owens is she's everything I want to be and that I'm aspiring to be. Like what you were talking about, that woman making you tough.
Right.
I'm not tough. I crumble when people come at me, and I have to have a thicker skin. But Candace Owens has people from all over. She has a great following. People like me who think she's amazing, and like I think she should actually run for office someday. But she has so many people who hate her and come after her, and she's so strong. She doesn't let anyone bully her. She speaks her truth, and she won't let people shut her down by calling her names or anything. And I admire that. And I just every couple of weeks I put a post up about her, because I watch her speak back to the people in authority who try to act like she's doing something awful, when in fact she's doing what she knows is the right thing, and she's not going to let anybody tell her different. And she has convictions, and she just is so strong, and her comebacks are amazing. Like when I get cornered, I'm like, like, or I'll think what I should have said like 2 hours later.
Yeah.
She's not like that. She'll come right back at you, like, you say this to me, and she'll just come right back at you. And I so admire Candace Owens. And if you don't know who she is, Google her and find out.
There you go. There you go. I think I'm going to talk. Well, I want to talk about two people. We got time. I'll give an honorable mention.
Oh my God! It's the show is going so fast.
I know.
Today.
I'll give an honorable mention to my noni, my mom's mom. She had 10 kids also. So
wow.
She, that was a lot. And my grandma, born in 1930, like she went right before she had kids and stuff too. So she was someone who was, she worked. That wasn't always very common.
Mm-hmm.
And she held a job down. And what's funny is she's such like a holy roller. Like they would find her broken rosary beads at work, and they'd be like, "Oh, Nora, here are your rosary beads." And she'd be like, "How do you know they're mine?" They're like, "You're the only person carrying rosary beads around the office." Like, so just a devout Catholic, and not Catholic like, like the God judging, the whole bad, just like what they like kind of want you to think Catholicism's about, like love and acceptance. Like my mom and my mom's siblings have kids that are biracial, and my grandma has grandchildren and great-grandchildren that are biracial. Never blinked an eye at it. We are one. My grandma and my grandpa were like that. So that's just like
as long as people are good people, it shouldn't matter what they are. Everybody should be accepted for whatever they are, as long as they're good people. And
right,
that's it.
There's a bunch of scumbags of every color.
You judge people according to each person individually. Somebody's not good because of a certain race. Somebody's not bad because of a certain race. You judge the person from how they act and what they do. And I shout out to Mark White from the Spin Doctors, because thank you, Mark White, for defending me on a post that I put up. I don't want to get into it, but he had my back, and it was his post I was reposting, and I was attacked for it, and he came to my rescue, and I love you, Mark White. So anyway, Taz, the residential artist, is saying Joe DeVito is the best. She knows him from Red Eye, which still, Taz, I've never seen one episode of Red Eye. I have no idea what it is, but I would love to find out. Joan Kupiasher is saying Candace says it like it is. Love her. So she loves her too. Many, many people love her, and many, many people hate her. So, okay, so Taz, the residential artist, says Jenna Hurt is a friend of mine. There was one time I had a teacher that didn't teach us and failed all the kids. I gathered all the kids and said we should go to the principal to tell him about it. They agreed, but didn't show up the day of, but Jenna Hurt did, and she wasn't even in the class. And now the teacher doesn't work there anymore, and I'll never forget what she did for me. So in other words, somebody who sticks up for those who can't stick up for themselves.
Very nice.
That's another
yeah,
really great trait
yeah,
for women to have, and men to have too.
yeah.
Okay, so I think it's your turn.
Well, I talked about my grandma real quick, so you could go if you got another.
Okay. I know that because we are comedians. One of the people who stands out in my mind, who I think is a big hero to me, is Lucille Ball.
Oh my God, I didn't write that, but that's like my fucking hero.
She was back in the day. She was gorgeous. She didn't have to be a comedian. She was an actress turned comedian, and she would put her hair like all back and she dyed it bright red, but she was gorgeous. And the things that she did back in the day for women, she was one of the first women comedians that I remember. And I'm old, and I'm watching these things in black and white, and if you watch them today, they still are funny.
I have the box set fucking downstairs.
Yeah.
She actually, little known fact, she was the first person that said, after my show airs, I want rights to it. And they were like, oh, a rerun?
Yes, 'cause
no
she
one's
was
going to
smart.
watch that. Ha! She goes, no, me and my friends put this together. People will watch it again. And it's like the longest running show in history. So
And then
Lucille Ball was smart. It wasn't the first woman. She was the first person ever to fucking say, no, that's that's rights to my content. She knew.
She knew that she had something special.
Yes.
And she wanted to, she was smart. She was a smart business lady as well.
Right.
As being a great comedian.
Yeah. And she.
Oh, Dan Romano is watching.
Welcome,
Hi,
Dan.
We love you and we miss you.
We
We're-
love and miss you.
Yes, we'll call him after the show and
Yes,
we'll have
yes.
a chat. Dan, we are talking about empowering women and women who have made a difference in our lives, and we just finished talking about Lucille Ball. I talked about Candace Owens. So I think it's your turn.
Yeah, I'll do one quick one. My mama, wouldn't be here with that.
I met her on the walk that we just took 2 days ago.
Yeah. Well, or 3, Sunday, 3 days, 4 days.
Sunday. I just met Mandy. I actually met Mandy's mom at Terry McNeely's show.
But you don't really meet somebody at a comedy show. You know, it's a
I
bar. It's
couldn't
like,
really
hey,
talk to
like
her.
to me, yeah.
But
So
we took a really, really long walk together in that
yes.
place.
Yeah, the Arboretum.
I never remember anything.
That place, that dark, weird place you took me to. No, but I've actually been going through the home movies that from my mom and dad actually filmed like all of my childhood. They had my sister; she was almost 4 when my mom was pregnant with me, and they were like, they're talking on the camera about like, wow, we have to. Mandy's coming. They didn't know it was a girl, but they were basically saying on the camera like, time's going so fast, we want to remember these moments and stuff. So my mom like really made a point to capture all that stuff, and just seeing all of that, like having patience for us. And honestly, it's funny, people are like, how were you comfortable on the camera? I'm like, my dad, not like me coming out of my mom's fucking vagina, but they have right before my mom being like, all right, they induce labor, then it fades out, and then it's like mom with a baby, like, like I've like literally been on camera my whole life. But my mom is someone that she tries to see the silver lining in everything.
Oh, she's a wonderful person. I had a great time, and we have so much in common. And your brother is so cute. It reminds me of Brandon.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
I know. They look, Brandon and James look like they could be brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Like they look like they could be little brothers. But my mom is just once again 1 of 10. She was great to her parents and to all her nieces and nephews, and just someone that I fought with a lot as a teen and gave her hell. Even as a toddler, was not always.
That's normal.
I
normal.
definitely gave her hell, but Mom, thank you for making me the lady I am today.
So Peter Najak is saying, I think he's talking about Lucille Ball, that she was in the Three Stooges short, which I didn't know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I do remember, she had a group called the He-Men Woman Haters Club. That was funny.
Well, isn't that's the Little Rascals?
Oh, that's the Little Rascals. Peter, what are you talking about? All right. My next person is the first, because I'm up there in age, the first woman hero in movies. I couldn't, I still remember it like it was yesterday. Remember the movie Aliens? The original
No,
Aliens.
I never saw that.
Sigourney Weaver was the first woman hero who was like so rough and tough, and she was, she shaved her head bald, and she was in charge, and it was between her and the alien that would wipe out the whole race. It was the first hero that was a woman.
Yeah.
Many heroes came after that, but Sigourney Weaver. Do you guys remember Sigourney Weaver in Aliens? Am I the only one? That
it's going on my movie list now.
As a woman, watching that as a kid, I was like, wow.
It's possible.
We don't need a man to rescue us. We can rescue ourselves.
Yeah, we're gonna save the fucking earth.
And Sigourney Weaver in that movie, Aliens, that was the first movie that I remember. There probably are others, but that's the first one I remember that really touched me. And I thought to myself, women can save themselves. They don't need to be rescued.
Yeah.
And that reminds me of, okay. That reminds me of, I love Sex and the City, right? So they made the first movie, Sex and the City, where Carrie gets dumped at the altar by Mr. Big, and she's reading Charlotte's daughter a bedtime story, Cinderella. She reads her the story, and the little girl goes, again. And she reads her the story, and then after she finishes the story, she goes, you realize that this is just make-believe, right? You realize that, we can, as women, we can rescue ourselves. We don't need a man to rescue us. And the little girl goes, again! She wanted to read the story again, and then the main character,
not Charlotte. It's the other one.
The one whose show it is.
Jessica.
Well,
Sarah Jessica
Hart.
I don't know what the fucking name is.
She's reading it, and the little girl goes again, and she goes, another one bites the dust. Meaning there's another girl that's waiting for her Prince Charming to come to rescue her and all that. All right, so your mom is saying, aw, thanks, Mandy, love you.
I do love you, Mom.
And Peter Najak is saying the short Lucille Ball was called Women Haters.
Okay.
That short came out in 1934 or so. I do remember it, Peter. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it does ring a bell. David Lang is saying a great flick. Sigourney Weaver was awesome. She was, and she wasn't like beautiful in that movie. She did, like everybody like thinks.
Yeah, she's kind of weird looking.
Yeah, she's not like your typical beauty. She wasn't. They had her hair cut short, but it was just, it made such an impact on me as a younger person watching the movie. And Ernest is saying he remembers Sigourney Weaver. So a lot of people remember her. All right, we only have like
6 minutes.
6 minutes left. If you want to type in a story, this is your last chance. It's Mandy's turn.
All right. I'm gonna lump them all into one. My mom's sisters and my aunts, like, just all have impacted me in different ways. My mom was very close to her sisters. They were always on vacations. Another set of eyes. My one aunt, Nora, she would bring me down to Charleston whenever she was going to visit my older cousin Bonnie down at college. Like, so I would take off school, and she would teach me about the mile markers on the road trips, and just little things that little life experience, real world experience things that you learn on the open road. And she just taking me, because I was a 6-year-old that talked nonstop. That'll keep you awake for an 18-hour drive. But 5-year-old asking you questions. But then my godmother, my mom's sister, also always there for me. My first bringer show, I had 9 people, and they were all my mom's family, and it was all family that was there to support me. And
so nice.
It really is. They took a day out of the city. All Long Islanders were going to the city is a fucking hassle and a half, and and it was funny because my one aunt didn't believe me. She was like, how long have you been doing comedy? Because they thought I did really well. They were like, she's like, were you even taking art classes? Because I kept like ditching her for an art class that I was really actually taking. But just my mom's sisters and my grandmother, the women in my family, you know, have just been so supportive of me and shared their lives with me. So I'm a better woman because of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, my friend Debbie Greenberg, one of my teacher friends, is watching. Debbie, I miss you. We really should get together. Renee Fuentes is watching. Hi, Renee. I was going to go to the mic later tonight, but I had a biopsy for ovarian cancer, and I'm feeling a little, run down, so I already told Steven I can't make it. I miss everybody. But I'm going to end it with another woman character. Now, this was a character, not a real person. Again, with the Titanic. The woman who played Rose in the Titanic.
I love her.
What a character of strength. So, basically, what happened in that movie, and it was so moving to me, again, as a younger person watching it, is that she was born, that she had to do what she was told to carry on the wealth and the money.
Yep.
And she didn't really love this fiancé, but she married him. She was going to marry him because she would be wealthy if she married him.
Yeah, less problems.
Her life would be simple. And then she goes on the ship and she meets Jack, who's a pauper. And Jack sweeps her off her feet and she falls in love with him in one boat ride. Right? And she says to her fiancé, because she and Jack are flirting and this and that, and he has this hired guy who was following him around the ship,
right? And
he reported back to him, and I mean, this is something that happened to me in my real life, so I sends chills up my spine. Was they're sitting there, her fiancé and Rose are at the table, and they're eating. The maids have given them all this beautiful breakfast. And he goes, "Where were you last night, Rose?" And she was down partying with Jack. And and she goes, "Oh, I didn't, I was somewhere, blah, blah, blah." And then he just threw everything down all the dishes down on the ground. And he didn't actually hit her, but he basically bullied her and basically said, "You're nothing, and don't you fucking do that again." And she, through all the odds against like what she should have done, her mother was saying, "This is a great name, this is wealth." She was like, "Fuck it.
Yeah.
I want to be happy.
Yeah.
I don't care about the money. I don't care about my title. I am going to put all that away, and I'm going to follow my heart."
Yeah.
So that character, Rose on Titanic, is one of my heroes, my personal heroes, and she gives me strength even to this day.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen that movie, The Titanic, watch it, and the character Rose is a hero to me. But then again, on that meme that I put, somebody goes, "That's just an old broad shouting about the guys she fucked back in the day." That was a meme that I had on my page. It was really funny. All right. So Ed is saying, "I remember Linda Carter." Oh, yeah.
Just about out of time,
Oh,
guys.
shoot. We're out of time.
We really love you so much. Thank you for watching the Empowered Women episode. We're going to have another. I don't think we got to nearly enough.
I'm so sorry if we didn't get to your stories this week. We're going to have second episodes on all of these because we always run out of time.
Yeah, we have more stories than we know what to do with a lot of these topics. So we're just going to we're going to definitely get back to you. We're going to post how to find Joe DeVito on the Three Company radio show.
Take his classes.
Page.
I highly recommend him. Message Joe through his website, www.joedevito.com, and tell him Bonnie sent you.
All right, guys, that's it. We love you very, very, very much, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye. I have it that we have 1 minute left.
I got 8:31.